Peace, everybody. How are y'all doing? This is Fasting is Life, and I am back again with another awesome news. As you can see in the picture, you see President Donald Trump with the Iranian spiritual leader on the screen and the flag of Iran in the background. Right? So, and you can see the title. So, today is going to be an interesting news, and I pray that I'm not gonna take too long because I'm actually gonna speak on two articles into one. Some of the information I'm bringing to you guys, I've had it for a few days ago, and I was waiting for the right time to speak on it. And it seems like the mainstream media was very silent, as always, when it comes to news that are very interesting for the masses here in America. But they want to keep you under the radar. So, but before we can continue, for those of you who are here listening to me live, well, technically not live, but listening to me here on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you can stay updated. And for those of you who are going to be listening to me through Anchor, Spotify, and other podcast website, make sure you favorite my channel so you can stay in tune when I upload and spread the news. All right. Now let's get into it. And what I'll do today is, while I'll be speaking on certain news, I'll be sharing the articles. So one second where I can get things ready so you guys can see what I see, right? So I'll be sharing this news article from The Hill. This is going to be my first report, which is based on the picture. And then I'll bring up an old article, which, you know, goes hand in hand with what I'm about to talk about. So as you see in the title, it says Israeli military prepare for Trump strike on Iran. So you're like, wait, what's going on, right? So according to this article, it's showing us that there are tensions between the U.S. right and uh, and what's going on here. This is Iran. The chief leader and the military in the background, and here's a picture showing you some people over there burning the Israeli flags and U.S. flag, right? And here's another picture of Iranian military. While everybody was distracted here in America, Thanksgiving. Oh my God, Thanksgiving. Oh, Turkey, Thanksgiving. This is what's going on in the West, in the East, actually. What's going on over there? This is Prime Minister Netanyahu. It's funny because his name in Lingala, it's like Netanyahu, which means step on a cat. So every time I hear Prime Minister Netanyahu, I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like my language, Netanyahu. So that's a little joke there for us who are Congolese. And like I said, I wanted to show you the pictures to kind of get you an idea of what I'm about to get into. So there's a lot to speak on. So it looks like I'm already 4 minutes in. And I hope this news doesn't take too long because I want to go straight to the point. But what I'll do is I'll link the article so you can go and read it for yourself. And I know a lot of people give me a flag because I promote the Bible. Everything you're saying, the Bible spoke of it. It's going according to the script. Iran, according to scriptures, will play a major part. Why? Because Iran represents what? Persia, the empire of Persia, the Medes and Persians. They're one empire, right? Historically and biblically. So they will play a major part when it comes to future prophecy, which is our time, right? And if you read the Bible, the empire of Babylon was the greatest empire of its time, right? But who took it down? The Medes and the Persians. The Bible says there is no new thing under the sun. So let me share the article so you guys can see. Let me take the picture. And I'm gonna be reading it with y'all. So those of you who can see, just pay attention. The article says Israeli military instructed to prepare for Trump strike on Iran report. And this was published when? November 25th at 11:44 a.m. While everybody was preparing for quote unquote Thanksgiving here in America, this is what the news online was speaking on. Let us read. Israel's military is preparing for the possibility that the Trump administration will launch a military strike against Iran. Axios reported on Wednesday. I'll stop here first. Now, think about these people. For those of you who are listening, see, if someone were to report this without this report coming on, they'll call you conspiracy terrorist, tinfoil hat guy, just making things out of nothing, and YouTube will what? Will strike your video like they have done. But one thing I've discovered is this. I'm better off just using their own script and YouTube doesn't do anything. So when I'm using mainstream news, they don't touch my videos. And I just give my little commentary here and there. And what I'll start doing now is if you guys really want to get my thoughts to go as deep as I will, you probably have to find some of my those kind of videos outside of this platform, which is YouTube. Probably I have to put it on Anchor because over there in Anchor there's no censorship, thank God. And places like OnlyFans or Patreon. But sometimes it's time consuming because I have to download the file, upload it, right? But if I get the audio is faster to download and upload on Anchor. So I stopped here, right, to basically tell you looking at this paragraph, if anybody would have said without a quote unquote mainstream news, they'll call it conspiracy theories and they'll flag it. Why? Because they're saying that you promote, what's the news saying? Oh, we don't, where's the facts? We don't have the facts. So I'm sticking to this is from the hills. I mean thehill.com. All right, let me continue. Uh, commercials. Get out of here. Senior Israeli officials told the outlet that the Israeli government instructed military commanders to prepare for a potential strike during the quote unquote very sensitive period between now and when President elect or projected President Joe Biden takes office on January 20th. Oh, what a coincidence, people. You don't say, hey? It's great to be tinfoil. Israel is reportedly making preparations with the expectation that they will receive advance notice from the United States regarding any military action, but with concerns that such notification might come too close to the attack. Israel is also preparing for the possibility of a retaliatory strike by Iran, either directly or through proxies in nearby countries. Now, do you see why those peace treaties that was happening between Israel and other quote unquote Arab countries? Let's continue. The New York Times reported last week that President Trump was considering a military strike against Iran in an attempt to stop Tehran's growing nuclear program. The International Atomic Energy Agency a day earlier had reported that the country's uranium stockpile was 12 times larger than allowed under the Obama era nuclear deal that the Trump administration withdrew from in 2018. Guys, Bible prophecy. I know a lot of people don't believe in the Bible. Huh. You have no idea what's coming. If you don't read the Bible, this is just, oh, it's just news. But for those of us who understand the prophets, what they saw, there's a lot of things I can't say here because we already know. Let me continue. Trump reportedly held a meeting Thursday in the Oval Office to discuss his options. But Vice President Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, which I had a picture here to show them. Hold on one second, guys. Yes, Pompey. Let me show you the picture they're talking about, which relates to what I just read right here. This was from the meeting. Oh, yeah. For those of you who miss again, let me show you. For those of you listening, it's showing President Trump in the White House, sitting, crossing his hands. And on the right side, you got Vice President Mike Pence and Pompeo on his left. So let me continue on the article. Acting Secretary of Defense Christopher Miller and General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, dissuaded him against such actions. Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz has spoken twice over the past 2 weeks with Miller to discuss Iran, Syria, and defense cooperation. On Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met in Saudi Arabia with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The main topic of conversation was Iran, Israeli officials told Exio. So, I'll read it because it's a short article. State Department officials, meanwhile, told reporters that, quote unquote, all options are on the table regarding Iran. Did you news, CNN, Fox News, MSN, NBC, did they tell you this? Or are they just focusing about the election and Thanksgiving and pandemic and Rovina 19? Did they tell you this? Did you hear about this? Tensions between Washington and Tehran have been high since January, when Trump ordered a drone strike in Baghdad that killed General Qasem Soleimani, the commander of Iran's elite Quds force. United States Central Command head General Frank McKenzie said last week that destabilizing actions by Iran have continued and quote unquote increased in scope and severity since 2019. This was the first article, right? To basically tell you what the mainstream media didn't tell you. And looking at the time right now, it looks like I am 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes in. Let me show you the second article that will seal everything. And this happened before this news, right? And basically, this article I'm sharing you is it's from the Times of Israel. It's a news website for the country of Israel, where you can check out the news and stuff like that. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing it to y'all. So when you have time, you can go to their website and type in uh, Syria airstrike, and then you're gonna see a bunch of articles, some of them from 2 days ago and going back in time. So I'm right here. I'm streaming, scrolling down. So I'm gonna go all the way back to last week. So no, actually, let me go November 18, right? No, no. Oh, this is even better. Okay. And I'm just gonna read the titles, and so that way you kind of have an idea how everything is leading up to this article I just read you, right? Everything that I told you that's gonna lead to this, right? You already see what they're doing over there, and you got this guy, right? And you got the Israeli force in, training, while you were distracted by this, right? And this is what's brewing, right? So let me read it to y'all because I already show. You know what? Let me show you the article so you kind of have an idea. All right, let me see. One article from September 13 of 2020. Israeli intel firm Friday airstrikes in Syria hit missile production facility. October 21st, 2020. Quote unquote, things happen. Defense minister seems to hint Israel behind Syria strike. November 18. IDF launches airstrikes against Iran Quds force in Syria. Israeli military claims credit for attack, says it was in response to explosives placed on border. Syria media says strike is near Damascus. 3 soldiers killed. November 18, right? This news was at 4 a.m. on November 18, and this one came at 8 a.m. IDF says it bombed racks of top Iranian officials in Syria to quote unquote send message. Military says Iranian command base near Damascus airport also among targets hit overnight in response to attempted border attack. Army goes on high alert for possible retaliation. November 18, later on at night, 7 was almost 8 p.m. In rare move, IDF releases images of pre-dawn strikes on Iran, Syrian targets. Military shows video footage, photographs of sites it says it targeted in Syria in response to an attempted attack on the Golan border. November 22nd, 2020. Iran warns Israel of quote unquote crushing reply to quote unquote hit and run strikes in Syria. Tehran threatens harsh response to any who disrupt its quote unquote advisors in Syria, as War Monitor claims 14 pro Iran fighters killed in fresh strikes attributed to Israel. November 25th, 2020, around midnight, or midnight, was it 12:44 a.m. Syria says Israel carries out strike near Damascus Golan Heights border. Huh? November 25th at 7 p.m. Israel drops leaflets in Syria Golan warning military to cut ties with Iran. Flyers come after alleged Israeli airstrikes on Iran-linked sites in Syria amid heightened tensions along the border. And the last article that came on November 26th at 6:37 p.m. says War Monitor claims Israeli strikes kill at least 19 pro-Iran fighters in Syria. So as you can see right there, right, what I just showed you was different articles from the Times of Israel showing you the reports they're reporting to their citizens. You know, America is a big ally of Israel. So anything that's going on over there, you would think here in America the news is going to be reported, right? Because America and Israel are allies, and America has a lot of interest over there. So wouldn't it be something good for Americans to actually pay attention to what's going over there? Why do your mainstream media is not telling you what's going on over there? It is not telling you what's about to happen, if possible. because this report may come out, right? It's official speaking it, but it doesn't mean it will happen, right? Because it says, they're preparing based on information that came out that it could happen. Who knows? It's not, the news is reporting to us, but we can't say if it will, right? So, but for us, it's good to be aware of what's happening. And for those of you who understand Bible prophecies, it says when things hit the fans, that's why they've done this whole pandemic thing. It was what? To prepare a system when there is a world war on a larger scale, they'll be able to process the people easier. Some people won't be able to travel, right? There was a report that came out, the United Arab Emirates banned visas for 13 Arab countries. You didn't hear about that on the news, did you? Huh? You didn't, right? Like I say, a lot of people beat me down because I uphold the Bible. And a lot of people, they don't understand the Bible. That's why they put it down. They don't read it. They don't have the spirit of the Most High to understand what it is written, because the Bible is written in codes. And only those who have the spirit of the Most High can understand it. And He can open your eyes to see what others don't see. Everyone who has the spirit, who reads the scripture, who understands the times we're in, they know what's coming. And we're preparing spiritually. We have no fear. Why? Because the Most High says in those days, be as pilgrims upon the earth. I've been telling people, get your passport, get your passport. I was telling people here 2 years, 3 years ago, family members, friends, and all that stuff, right? And guess what happened when they shut down this whole thing under the guise of a quote unquote virus that's gonna quote unquote kill you. You know what they did? You know, one other thing, close the border, no flights out or in. Well, the ones that were coming in were American citizens coming back. The whole world shut down the airports. Travel became very restricted. You think 911 when they were, making you take off your shoe and all that stuff was something? No. And talk about your passports. People who were applying for the passport, guess what? Everything was postponed. And you know, especially with the real ID that was being proposed. Now, because of this pandemic, it was supposed to expire in this November, but the government pushed it back to next October, meaning your driver license, right? Your ID will need to have the new system, the real ID stamp. It's gonna have two pictures where your main pictures for your ID, and then there's like a replica of your picture under like some gold sparkling thing, a star on the bottom right. Because on my new CDL, basically my CDL form is basically the real ID driver. I mean card. My basically my driver license. It's my commercial driver license. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and people have no idea. They tell you stay home, right? Wear your mask. I'm a truck driver. I travel across the country, right? Y'all don't see what we see. And for those who see what we see, they probably don't even know what time it is. But for those of us who read the scriptures, who understand, and there's not a lot of us, we know what time it is. And you know what? Because the whole world don't believe what we have to say, we're just gonna keep the information to ourselves and give it to those who seek it. Because we know most people aren't gonna hear anyway. The Bible even says that they shall kick you out of your houses. Then it shall be known who are you chosen. How do you think the mark of the beast is gonna be implemented? It's gonna be a free will. They kick you out of the house, you'll be like, well, you can get back your house, but you gotta get that chip. Ah, you're like, no. It's the only way. Your money in your bank account, it's still there. The only way to access it is just give us your hand, or give us your forehead so we can chip you. You know what? We can erase all your debt, but to use our system, you gotta say yes to Lucifer. And you know what? Billions of people are gonna say yes for convenience. And that's how many people will take it because you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna take anything." Guess what? You're given an option. Either you starve to death with your children or you take the mark. Which one you gonna pick? Logically speaking, everything that's yours belongs to you, but guess what? You can't use it. Why? Because you gotta have the chip. You're a billionaire, right? You got money. Yeah, I know you got what $55 billion in your bank account in your business and all that. But guess what? You go to buy something, your card is not working. You go to the bank and be like, "Wait a minute, I got money." They say, "Sir, under the new system, you gotta be cheap, or you won't be able to access. It's a new system. Sorry, but cash doesn't exist anymore. It's all about the chip system." We have Bob over there in the other room. He's shipping all the billionaires over there. Why don't you get in line? No, no. Well, sorry. We're gonna have to escort you outside, sir. You are disrupting the flow. How dare you? I, okay. 911 emergency. Get this get this monkey out of here. How dare you? I'm an American. How? Blah, 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 blah. It won't matter anymore. Stay tuned for more Bible prophecy. We're just watching, like the scripture says, like a watchman, watch and pray. Pay attention. I'm living my life as always. But you know what? I got my eyes on the Bible and I got my eyes on what's going on, what is not being reported. And I got my eyes on the news from the East. That's the key. America doesn't even report half of the world's events. They don't. You have to search for it. And my channel is about health and other news and Bible stuff, but this is important. Why? Because remember the things I've been telling you. If this does happen, guess what that means? There won't be a new administration. He's gonna stay. So I'm telling you, it will be the perfect time to pull this thing. Think about it. And I know I have an audience from an international audience. I hope y'all can see this. Guess what? Our brothers and sisters over there in Europe, who are listening, who cares about your nation? Guess what? You think if these things happen, you think you're just gonna your country's gonna get dragged into it too. So you should be worrying also. You should be worried. And when I say worry, I'm not talking about worrying like you fear that. No, that when I say in worry, be cautious because your nation is gonna be dragged into it too, especially if they are allies with the United States of America and Israel. So let us watch and pray and stay tuned for what's happening. And remember, don't rely on your mainstream news to tell you what's going on around the world 100%. And especially news that really are necessary for you to have your eyes on, like this one, like this one, like this one. So this is just, I knew I went, almost 30 because there was so much to talk about. And I hope y'all are safe. Y'all having a great weekend. This is Fasting is Life again. I want to thank you all who are coming in, checking out this information. If you haven't done so again, let me remind you, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Share this video, please, because I know some of the people they haven't heard about it, right? So please share this. Let them subscribe to me, and I'll keep you posted. I'll do my best. And also, I'll probably gonna make another video where I'll tell you. As of today, I've been doing a 7-day dry fast where I'm not eating anything or drinking water. I finally broke. Usually, when I do a long fast, the maximum I can do on a dry fast is 6 days. So this time, I managed to break 7 days, and even as I'm speaking to you right now, my throat is very dry because my energy is depleted. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna keep on hanging. If I survive today till tomorrow, it's gonna be 8 days. And basically, what I'm doing is I want to do it until I'm too weak to continue, and then I'll break my fast with juice and fruits, and then start over again because I'm preparing my body for the season that we're coming into, which is flu season. So again, thank you guys. Stay tuned. Be safe, and don't fear. For those of you read the Bible reveals everything. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.